So one of the key things that I like to tell myself, the reason why I get certain vocals the way I do is because I use a lot of multi-stage processing. What that means is I don't process things on the individual channels that I receive, the individual stems. I don't super process everything on that stem just to get things to sound right. I allow the stems to funnel into different channels with medium to moderate processing as it moves along. That way it's taking care of things that it needs to take care of at a lighter workload. That's like being able to know when to use a chisel, a hammer, a saw at different stages of construction. Instead of feeling like you got to use a hammer from the get-go of building something and you got to get the biggest hammer in order to build something. We use tools in this multi-stage fashion to attack things as they come up. One of the things I do is multi-stage de-essing. I have two different stages that I mainly do this at. One, at the individual channel. I use Izotope's de-esser that comes with the RX-7 standard. If you do not have that pack, please get it. It is amazing. I use RX-7 standard's de-esser because it's quick and it can dial in a frequency and it moves very quickly. It's a little too ambiguous to say that it's really transparent, so I don't want to use that phrase. However, it's very, very smooth in the way that it reduces S's and T's. You don't really hear a lot of vibration from it, which is what I like. There's a lot of different de-essers that do that. Just choose one that can move quick and fast because you're only going to put this plugin on moments for really harsh sibilances. Then on my vocal stem, I use Izotope's Nectar de-esser. Izotope's Nectar de-esser is really clean. When I first used the RX de-esser, I thought that was a transparent. And then I used the Nectar de-esser. Even taking out a dB.5 or 2 dBs is going to take your vocals very far. So you already know what time it is. Let's get in for a demonstration, shall we? So what I'm gonna start with the verse and we're just gonna loop throughout the chorus here. Okay. So this is MelloSoulBlack Mimosa track.
That's right off when your little buzz done die off. Nigga, why you hating? Take a night off. Why you menstruating? Take a night off. Too emotional. That ain't.
All right, and then I have the RX-7 de-esser here. So here's what it sounds like with it on and off as I bypass.
That ain't how the shit supposed to go. So don't do your dance to the dose though. Just do it while we slip and slide like fluid. So we smoke our weed and we talk our slang. Hey, and now your nigga wanna do the same.
So here's the RX-7 de-esser as I bypass this on and off.
Whole lot of skills, whole lot of bills, I can't pay it, smoke to the deal, not a big meal, I can't say it, I can't see it, all I aspire to be. My teacher told me I can't bitch, I'll fuck you and your feelings. When I did, you gon' see it, bitch, I'm cold, yeah. Even when I'm not on my toes, I switch flows, niggas can't fuck with my bros, slapping that hip hop shit with the powerful soul.
You see what I mean? Let's go ahead and just dive into one of these. And then I'm gonna output the S only so you can hear what it's capturing.
My teacher told me I can't be it. You don't see it.
And that's all you need to get. Notice it's only getting about 1 to 3 dBs of gain reduction. That's all you need, honestly. You just need to smooth out the S's. You don't always have to go in and just completely take them out. But that's enough for Nectar to then do its job later down the road. Let's look at that. So here's Nectar. I'm gonna turn off both of these so you can hear the raw file here.
Whole lot of skills, whole lot of bills, I can't pay it, smoke to the deal, how to make.
Let's just go back to that smoke.
I can't pay it, smoke to the deal,
Very abrasive. Let's turn on the first RX.
Whole lot of bills, I can't pay it, smoke to the deal, I can't pay it, smoke to the deal. I can't pay it, smoke to the deal,
Sound like it's sucking up a lot of that energy. And then when we apply the nectar de-esser,
I can't pay it, smoke the deal, how to make meal.
You see, it went from being this here
I can't pay it, smoke the deal.
To this here.
Bills, I can't pay it, smoke the deal,
In the mix, it's gonna sound like this.
Bills, I can't pay it, smoke the deal, how to...
You know, it's more of a sh instead of this ringing, resonating frequency that you hear when you do this.
Bills, I can't pay it, smoke the deal.
This nectar is also on my vocal bus, so it's not just acting on the single channel. All my vocals run to this bus here. So that means his hook as well is being de-essed by this nectar plugin.
Smoke our weed, and we talk our slang, hey. And now your nigga wanna do the same thing, hey.
It's just taking out the energy that's just not needed, which is gonna make the vocals come off of the S's and T's off the tongue sound a lot smoother. And basically the way I set this is I bring this up and then I bring the threshold down until I first start catching stuff. Right there. That's enough to get the s part. Then I just park it. I leave it. I don't touch it. If you go into here, you start getting more of the vocal breath, the vocal envelope. We don't want to get that vocal envelope. And if you go too far, you'll start picking up words. That's too much. So you only need to park it right when you hear something happening. It's the same thing with this plugin. The minute you start seeing up to 3 dB of gain reduction on these plugins, you're about in the ballpark. Listening to it in the mix, if it's softer, leave it. And that's how you can determine this. So now we have this performance overall.
Take a mic off, too emotional. That ain't how the shit supposed to go. So don't be a dance to the dosey though. Just do it while we slip and slide like fluid. So we smoke our weed and we talk our slang. Hey. And now your nigga wanna do the same thing. Hey. But we got the bill, we're just trying to maintain. Hey. I ain't got no time worrying about what you smoke some weed. We don't ones that's right off. When your little buzz done die off. Nigga, why you hating? Take a night off. Why you menstruating? Take a night off. Too emotional. That ain't how the shit supposed to go. So don't be a dance to the dosey though. Just do it while we slip and slide like fluid. So we smoke our weed and we talk our slang. Hey.
And there you have it, folks. It does sound better. Well, at least it sounds better than it did. So if you like this tip using Izotope's de-essers, then like and subscribe this channel. Or if you like me, like and subscribe this channel. Otherwise, stay tuned in next week for the next idea that I have. Peace, y'all.